Any inquiries on our projects over here? Do we have any inquiries over there? All right. Recently, basically, you guys have been looking at some of the samples that I actually did just now, right? So I did basically those demonstration in one of the classes today. Basically, how actually I draw the tail, etc. Okay. What are the things that I want to talk about to you guys, for you guys, okay? But while actually doing this kind of talking, I want you guys to start to develop this kind of illustration works there. Okay, guys, please start this illustration if you don't seem to start this illustration yet. All right. So I want you guys to understand one thing, okay? With this kind of what we call that these illustrations here, our main objective of the purpose, okay, the main purpose of our project one basically, okay, I already stated basically in our brief there, okay, for the last week there, okay, last week sessions already. So please recall them back. And some of you guys still did not submit those books. I don't know why. All right. There's a 95, I think around 60 students maybe haven't actually read submit, and maybe 5 of them basically have been deferred. Right. So if you take a look closely, right, okay, on our purpose, on the main objective of our projects over here, our first assignment of our project, right, okay, it's all about how to what we call that develop basically your skill, understand to develop improving your skill, your drawing skill first. All right. That's the first purpose, right? Okay, by using the 6 images of human figures, poses. Okay, I actually write, that's my bad, okay, about the pose, not pose, but poses there, okay, as reference there. As reference that you need to figure out how to redraw using the digital tools there. Redraw back again. Okay, redraw back again there, okay. Even though the subject matters, okay, we call it as a part of those character design, okay, basics character design there, okay. But when you call it basics, it doesn't mean that you have to draw the whole thing changing into another kind of subject matters. If you're not ready enough to develop that kind of skills there, you still can develop the things, okay, those kind of subject matters according to those reference. But if you need to improvise, all right, if you need to improvise those things there, okay, those kind of subject matters into different kind of characters a little bit, just use a minimal kind of changes there first, because imaginations kind of drawings, character design kind of drawing, it doesn't have to be you have to change the whole total kind of design becoming something else there. Some people try to draw that anime manga kind of style, but the proportion that they provide from that drawings were incorrectly done there, okay? Because why? Because they don't have that kind of enough understanding there first to develop their skills. All right, their skills there, okay? What kind of drawing skills that we look into that kind of illustration there, okay? I saw some of your friends will basically have done a balanced kind of what we call that drawing works, okay? She basically designed something from original photos there, okay? Which is better than what she's been doing with those character design. I want to see how well you develop that kind of skills there first. Develop your skills. All right, develop your skills there. You have to basically be more realistic with that kind of objective there, okay? Because you will have those chances, not only in my classes only, you're going to design some of the, but the problem is right now, if your illustrations, that if your character design that you try to produce, that you feel good at it, but basically it's wrong, it's not basically done correctly, the proportion is not right, okay, the color, kind of what we call that, the combination between shadows and shades, and the line works also look very dirty and sloppy, okay, it's very what we call that massing, okay, that doesn't actually have any value that you actually can learn from that particular kind of drawings there. They will lead you to have a very lower marks from there. 20% is very higher marks, huge mark there, okay. 10% from this week kind of development that we actually bring over from last week kind of what we call that exercise, we're not going to get a very good mark from there, okay. So for example there, okay, let's just say, okay, for example, like this is only a sample there, okay, I want to show you guys there. Right, I just want to show you guys some comparison, but I actually talked to the students, okay, in quite long time, okay, because I know that he actually can draw and she also can draw well. She has the skills, okay, but normally, okay, some people need more kind of time to develop their skills and open up their mind, okay. Like your friend just now, there, okay. Okay, when he actually draw, I think he or she, I don't know, there, okay. Who is it, okay? Is it from this class? All right. He done basically a lot of development on his sketches there, okay. But this is one thing that actually he tried to do there, okay. He
Sir,
tried
you
to.
didn't share your screen.
Oh, sorry, there. Right. Thank you very much, there. Okay, this is a sample that I want to share with you guys over here. All right. So he tried basically, right, okay, to create something a bit more like anime, manga kind of style, which is basically is good for you guys to develop, okay. But the thing is right now, all right. Okay, the thing is right now that right, the proportions first, okay, the shadings kind of methods, right, okay, is very dirty there, okay. We saw from here, okay, we cannot see the whole form of structures being softly, being gently, being sculpted, okay, using this basically the right kind of tone there, okay. So those are the things that I actually didn't actually teach you guys to develop this kind of heavy shapes kind of methods, okay, especially when you see from this what we call a flag, like a kind of shadings there. Okay, you're not using basically traditional medias; they're using computers there to work. Okay, Photoshop. Okay, for example. Okay, you can see basically some of the shades from here. Okay, look very hard there. Okay, it not basically been shades and form and tone really well from there. But this is basically some challenging, what we call that challenging kind of process that each artist has to face there, okay. But if you're willing to spend times there to develop all these kind of things more than one day, and then you're going to struggle with another 4 or 5 different kind of drawings later on, and you're going to make that last minute kind of drawing become a bit more worse there, okay, for your presentations, what's the point that you're going to get count in those 10% kind of marks from there? Okay, try to be realistic on that, okay, because when you actually try to develop a lot of heavy kind of imaginations kind of drawings there, okay, you will spend a lot of time, you're going to waste a lot of times to experiment some of the things that you nearly can understand it, right? Instead, your main objective right now to develop your skills that base from the reference only, okay. This is okay, the proportions from this legs also can be changed a little bit there, okay. The shadows that we saw from here, okay, even though the patterns that we call from those the crumple from those cloth there, okay, has to be improved a bit more further. But I give the respect that he tried hard enough to work on that, okay, the shadow itself there from here, okay. But the thing is, if you keep doing the same kind of styles of drawings, okay, which is you're not basically are going to be improved, add more values on your variety of your skills there, okay, you will stuck yourself right there at that moment, what we call it, for quite long time there, okay. So compared to some of the students that actually have seen there right now, okay, this one actually, right, the student doesn't have those kind of tablet yet, okay. Okay, this is the one, something that we can see there, okay. This student basically try to develop her skill or his skills using the strokes and line there first, right? Okay? And then maybe you get to add some shading from there. So the value that we can take from here, all right, okay, you actually start to develop your kind of stroke and styles and skill at the same time, right? Okay? Even though we try to draw on top of the layers, that which is some of you guys think that they're going to be a bit kind of like copying or drawing or tracing, but the value that bring out from here, you develop your skills back again. All right, that's basically what we're supposed to develop again. Okay, comparing to the students over here, she actually did a few number kind of design. All right, this is some of the earliest kind of drawings that she did basically, that I asked her to repair to improve more on the proportions, okay, the alignments of the eyes, the hairline and strokes. And when she actually done all this kind of experiment, because she can do it, okay, you have to ask yourself back again, whether you actually have that kind of strength to develop that kind of design or not. If you don't have that, right, okay, check back again your own kind of purpose and your realities that you have to develop first, right, okay. If you need to develop back again your drawing skills, it's better for you to produce this kind of drawings here, this kind of quality of works there first. All right. Now, basically, she start to balance them up. She start to design and develop according to those reference only. All right. Even though she can doing well, she can actually develop more further on this character design works. Okay. But back to reality, guys. Ask yourself back again. Can I control the stroke really well from here? And am I actually can develop the skills by using those kind of tools, okay, in these short times for a while there, okay? Can I actually develop those kind of proportions well? The line strokes there, the flows itself there, the shadings there, the methods of shadowing it. You can see, okay, comparison to the first one that I show you guys and this one, okay? They look more soft, more clean, more organized, okay? And you can actually bring over the value from these presentations there, because she carefully developed that kind of understanding from there. That's basically what each one of us to develop those skills there. Okay? That's why I did not basically stress too much to develop on character design, but if you willing to develop that kind of understanding there, you can actually add a little bit kind of imaginative kind of elements there. Okay, like I actually developed basically those what we call that a diamond, what we call that rubies, okay, on those forehead there, okay, to show basically she has a magical kind of element, okay, in the forehead there, okay, for example there, right, okay, a scar, a little bit small things there, okay, some basically some like a patterns, okay, that actually form basically the skin become a bit more like a dragon kind of skins over there, all right, okay, and of course the tail itself and the claw and the bracelet there, right, okay. So small things that I add, okay, into basically those designer, okay, they become different characters there. It doesn't mean that you have to change the whole things that, okay, into other things that, okay, that will make your presentation look good there, right? Because I will count over basically based on your understanding that first, understanding how to use the tools, okay? Did you actually can draw those hairline and strokes look softer like this using basically the brush that I actually introduced to you guys there? Ask yourself back again. All right. And of course, when you take a look at this kind of drawing, I'm using the same tail, adjust basically the positions, and I'm changing the colors there. And I basically redraw back again. This is basically the sample of the reference there, okay? I try to just emphasize a few changes there to make it this correct, this design, this subject matters becoming like what we call that, a creatures there, okay, or monsters that may be there, okay, but small things that make changes there, okay. I didn't make a lot of changes from there. And of course, okay, some of the detail element that I saw from this subject matter, like there is a gun kind of thing over here there, okay, I didn't draw them. All right, some of the major kind of details that I think it's not possible for me to draw to studies, I avoid them, because as illustrators we have that kind of license to change there, okay, but to make it more better, not making it worse there, right? Remember that it's making the changes that you want to do, make sure they add values from there, you make it more better, okay, on your presentations. That's basically what you're supposed to look into with your kind of developments there, okay. I did basically show some of the students from those demonstrations how actually I developed kind of shadows and shades from here using those lasso tools at the same time, there, right, okay, and how to draw those tails basically based on those kind of what we call that drawings over here, okay. So I did actually show them and say how actually work on that in these videos here. Let me check back again. Okay. So you can double check back again those kind of videos later on there, okay, how actually we go on that. And right now I want to have you guys, okay, some sort of like questions there, right? Okay, let me close this one there first. Okay. Anyone have any inquiries on our projects over here? If you think your main purpose of objective, okay, you didn't have to think too hard there, okay. but you have to focus basically on your skills. How actually develop those skills. I saw basically, right, okay, most of you guys from group 6, which is basically have developed basically those contour line drawings kind of methods, right, okay, and constructive line kind of methods, okay, for last week's. You guys have doing quite well, okay, to develop those skills from there. Why don't you basically, right, okay, improve a bit more further from there and then improvise to develop a certain kind of element that can be developed for this final kind of works for the first project, right? Okay, so anyone ready to share some of the screens over there? Anyone there, right? Want to share screen? Okay. Pei is here, Pei? Are you here, Pei? Okay, let me check the attendance of Pei there, okay, for last week. Okay, Pei, you were here there, right? Last week. All right, guys, any questions, any inquiries? Open up your webcam for a while there, okay? So I can see your face there, okay? And then we can close them back. Guys, open up your webcam there, right? So I can see your face there. Okay, let me share basically these videos there first. Guys, open up your webcam there, guys, for a while. Okay. Okay, this video basically the okay. You guys can see later on there, okay? I'm going to put into those link over here. Anyone on share screen? Okay, open up your webcam for a while, okay? All right. So I will put over there, okay, for you guys to check back, okay? All right. Coco, do you have anything want to share, okay, on your progressions there, right? Want to share screen there so I can consult at the same time? Anyone there, okay? Xuan, Junmin, Indran, okay? Anyone, okay? Work on it there, right? Don't be shy, basically, to show your kind of progressions there, so we can see how actually we can improve back again from there. Anyone? Come on, guys. I know basically, right, in the evening, basically, right, a little bit kind of like very exhausted and tired there, right, okay? Gloomy a little bit, okay? Those, right, outside there is a bit gloomy there, right, okay, today. All right. Carlo, there, right? You want to share something that on your progressions? Anyone actually in this group who haven't actually submit those works? Right, check back again, okay, those kind of objective here. Okay, from this video demonstration that I did, basically, the right, I don't have to put those, what we call that. I need to mute basically those voice over here. I did sharing my screen there, right? Okay. You check look there, guys, okay? Okay, how actually I developed basically that kind of understanding there, okay, to develop those kind of combination between the image manipulations kind of methods and also illustration and drawing at the same time here. Right, let me check basically the quality here, right? So I'm actually right. When I actually browse, okay, if I want to draw anything, okay, regarding to my imaginations kind of ideas there, okay, one of the things that you have to remember there, guys, okay, all imagination came from experience there. When you want to get some experience there, okay, you need to understand how actually the things are going to be work there, okay, for your kind of what we call that imaginative kind of design there, okay. So you need to find some reference there. Right? You need to find some reference to work on that. Don't try to imagine something that without you have that kind of pure understanding on the subject matters, right? Especially for the newcomers and beginners, right? Don't try to be smart just to imagine something out from nowhere, okay? Because all your research there, okay, all your kind of founding, right, all your kind of output, there has to be some sort of like sources that where you get this kind of sources, right? Okay, so when I actually want to design something there, okay, this is basically came from any practice that you saw from those animations or films there, okay, they will find some sort of resources that first before they're going to imagine them, right? Okay, so especially like a newcomers like you guys, okay, even though you can imagine things well, but in terms of academic and education's kind of purpose there, okay, you need to show your reference, not only from education purpose, and in professional kind of line also the same thing. We always try to find some of the reference in order to communicate with our clients there. All right, not to compare them, but try to get some ideas there to make sure that what we do basically is not that from out of nowhere directly. Some people actually don't trust basically we can do it well directly. So don't try to hide your reference there. I didn't try to hide my reference there. I show you guys how it works there effectively when you want to imagine something there. Okay, so when I actually try to browse some of the tails there, okay, I want to draw some tails there, okay, that add into this design there, okay. What I try to do, right, okay, I will basically find some of my reference resources there, okay. So I try to find a lot of resources first and choose one of the best one and put it into my ideas there. All right. So you want to design dragons, warriors, or whatever that you want to do in your imagination set, right? Find some reference, but you can apply from there. But the thing is, right now, if you don't have that kind of ability and time, all right, and skill to work on that, you guys can use all these ideas back again later on if you have this kind of time to develop your kind of design of characters there, okay? It doesn't mean that you cannot work for this project there, okay? Because we have another 2 projects that we have to develop now. We have to deliver there, okay? But the last one basically are going to challenge you guys to develop this kind of process of working there. You're going to combine your imaginations and your resources and your skills and your reference at the same time. Okay, so this kind of what we call it assignments, this kind of project that you have to focus is how you develop your skills in drawings there. All right, in drawings there first. Okay, but I show you guys basically right now how I actually develop some ideas from there. Choose the right kind of reference, but we don't trace them, we draw them back the right way and try to visualize according to our kind of understanding there. And of course, when I actually choose one of the photos reference over here, I did not actually just copying or trace them back there, okay? I try to improvise and using the ability to develop my kind of way of working with this kind of designer, okay? So we use basically technologies to help us. Some people say, okay, how actually I draw those kind of things a bit more faster, okay, using technologies, okay? There's no such thing as easiest way, but they're basically a right way for you guys to develop that, right? Okay, so the right way to develop that, okay. Back in the day, we have to imagine something, we have to refer some of the books there, okay, before we're going to combine all these kind of ideas together there, right? Nowadays, you guys can use Google to develop from there and take a look how actually I improvise the shapes of it, okay, into different kind of elements there, okay. I add another element for this tail there, see. So that's why, okay, small imaginative kind of ideas can make a lot of changes on your presentation. It doesn't have to be draw the whole thing changed, right? Okay? Just like I show you guys in when I just draw some sort of like cyborg robot there, okay? But I didn't actually follow up with that kind of idea because I know basically it will take a lot of time for me to do those demonstrations there. So I try to minimize basically back again to make sure that each one of you guys we'll get the clear idea how actually you're going to develop your skill first. All right, your skill first, okay? We have to be more realistic in come to develop our understanding here. So when I actually have developed all these kind of ideas all together there, right? And then I start to bring back over, okay, when I actually have that kind of understanding to develop the right kind of strokes, then slowly I will figure it out using the reference, how basically I'm going to paint the shadows according to those reference there. I do some selections using those lasso tools, and I add basically the shadows right here, okay? Slowly paint the shadows there, guys. Okay, don't rush too, what we call that, too fast, okay, to add some shadows and core shadows and light, and suddenly you actually miss out basically the right techniques to develop that kind of shadings there. That's why your shading becomes a bit more like dirty, right? Okay, messed up a little bit there, okay? That kind of thing we try to avoid them, right? Okay. I want to compare one of the samples that from the students at the same time here. I just want to show you guys basically again what are the things that we can learn from some of the submissions over here that the student basically I actually have been given some of the notes from there. So keynote basically hopefully she can improve from that particular kind of presentations there, right? Okay. Where is it here? There, right? Why basically this kind of WhatsApp become like this one there? Right. Okay. Okay, let's take a look back again there, right? Okay. Okay, this is the one, right? I think. Okay, this is the one there, right? Okay, like your friend just just now there again. Can you see over here, okay? What basically some of the mistake that she tried to do, okay? First of all, I didn't actually work with the colors yet. The way that she paint the colors, develop the strokes, totally wrong. They don't add any values on this presentation there. See how actually she tried to blend the shadows there, because she tried to develop some imaginative kind of drawing. I don't know where she get these ideas from, right? The line work were not doing right there, okay? The strokes were not doing right there, okay? All the thing that basically she's tried to do basically is out from what we actually have been taught there, okay, to you guys there. The shadows doesn't actually apply the right kind of shapes there, okay? And also to control the strokes at the same time here, okay? So don't put colors there. Don't try to be smart to put some colors on that, okay? Don't try to do something that you don't understand why you should actually apply that kind of thing first in your presentations there. Because I don't want you to make, okay, from this presentation, for example, there, okay, if you attempt to develop something that you don't understand, okay, and you make it worse for your presentations there, you might be failed with these presentations. Simple as that. I don't want you guys to fail because you don't understand from what you do there. You're supposed to follow first and then you improvise from there. Not just try to improvise something that you don't understand, right? If you don't understand how to improvise them, follow exactly what we thought, okay? And then continue to learn one step at a time. Okay? So I already talked to this student about it, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes. Because in order for you guys to develop your understanding, you have to be follow first and then you improvise from there. Unless you have the skill that you can develop more from what we actually have taught. Okay? Unless you have. You ask yourself back again, whether I can actually compromise with my skill to develop other kind of design, or I can not direct. You have to be more realistic and open up yourself directly from there. Okay? Don't try to let your egos ruin basically your kind of developments there, your kind of process of working there. Right? Okay? That's basically, you have to be more realistic about it. All right? So if you actually really concerned about it, then you follow exactly that first, because basically she can do it well. but she tried to experiment with other things that she never knows yet. Okay? She tried to challenge something that she never knows yet. Okay? So build up those strengths first by learning develop your core foundation, that your root there at first. Right? And after you get those confidence, try a little bit more further from there. Okay? All right? Do you guys understand yes or no there, right? Put yes or no there, okay, on those chat box. Because the thing that I saw from her developments earlier there, right? I saw basically, right, okay, this is the one there, okay? What are the meaning of this exercise there, right? It doesn't show basically a very strong foundation on the stroke itself, all right? Okay, when she actually draw the whole thing, look a bit kind of like hesitate there, okay? Even though she tried hard enough to draw those kind of basic structures, constructive line, but when we ask back again, do you understand what you're doing right now there, right? If you don't understand, back into the foundations, develop basically contour line drawings and gesture line at the same time, and slowly develop those, break down into the shapes there, right? Okay, slowly work on that. All right, yes or no, basically, okay? Put in the chat box. If you don't understand, say no there, okay? I want to hear more from you guys. Yes or no there, okay? Respond to me there, okay? So remember, guys, okay? Thank you very much for your response there, okay? We need basically to develop that kind of understanding there, because there's a lot of things that we have to learn from here, okay? Because I already prepared some of the notes for you guys, okay? So I'm going to put a bit more notes, okay, in our lettering, in our folders there, okay? So for you guys to develop from there, okay? Don't worry there, guys, okay? But you must be prepared yourself to develop a bit more exercise from here, all right? So that's basically that we're going to go through with it, okay? But I don't want you guys to rush out to develop everything inside in one particular exercise there, okay? Because if you don't practice yourself to develop the skills in the right way, whatever that you're going to do technically are going to be, you won't be able to see those kind of values from your development from there. That's what I think I'm always afraid there, right? Not afraid because I didn't actually teach you guys, but I'm afraid that you won't be able to get evolve with your skills there, okay? One of the things that I talked to the students there before, okay, if you don't basically try to develop that kind of flexibility, okay, and change in the way that you thought in your comfort zone, okay, this is basically my style there, okay, I don't want to change that. And suddenly there, okay, when we saw some people can do more better than you, you will find out a lot that why I cannot actually improve myself there. Okay, I'm still didn't see any kind of changes in my developments there. Of course, okay, in 7-8 weeks, we cannot expect that you can actually drastically change there, okay? But the thing that I try to develop from here there, guys, okay? Take a look slowly there, okay? I'm going to go through back again with this drawings there. So if you take a look closely, okay, this is basically the basic structure that I try to develop, okay? Change, okay? If I cannot draw basically some imaginative kind of shapes that base from the cloth, etc., okay? I start to study basically a simple kind of methods too. Sorry, there, right? Change those brushes over here, okay? I just study basically whatever that I saw from this reference that I see, using basically this kind of methods there, guys, okay? Contour line drawings and gesture line at the same time here. I didn't draw whatever that inside those cloth there, okay? Those are the things that really matters right now, okay? I mean, just now you saw that your friend just now, okay, when she draw basically those basic structures over here, she didn't know what she's trying to do right here, okay? So what I can do right here, right now, okay, draw the basic structures back again, okay? Roughly, basically, we saw the structures of it. What makes this kind of ears change, okay, the positions there? Suppose ears right there, right? Because the positions of those, what we call that, she basically tried to look a little bit more upward there, okay? So basically the position of the shapes, okay, are going to be half of those head are going to be from the nose itself, okay, half of it, okay, if you measure correctly there, right? And then try to study basically the eyes itself, the shapes of the eyes there, the eyebrows, okay, all these kind of thing that we try to do there, okay, we're not basically just simply just want to do that, right? Okay, try to develop that kind of understanding here to draw the shapes correctly there first, all right, the lips, the mouth itself there, right? Okay, when I want to draw them, okay, try to improvise basically the shapes over here, all right, and then once basically I actually understand them rightly, so I start to begin to draw the shapes of those eye, those hairline there, okay? Study them back, okay? All this kind of stroke that I try to do right now is not basically out of purpose there, right? I try to study the shape first before I'm going to redraw them back again. And of course, from this kind of gestures kind of line that we saw there, right, okay, it's developed my kind of understanding from these foundations kind of strokes there, right? So when I actually have that kind of understanding from here, all right, what I actually going to do there, right, okay, I'm going to start to develop back again my kind of drawings line and strokes that base from our main kind of objective there right now, right, okay? So if I using basically the ink, Cal ink brush there, okay, Cal Ultimate ink brushes right here, okay, I'm going to use my shadows, press a little bit, and release to draw those hairline there, right? Okay, draw those hairline there. Same goes to this part there. Right? So if you think that you can actually draw the hairline correctly like this, using this kind of brushes at first, then you actually have that kind of ability to develop a bit more further on your design later on using this kind of strokes there, right? Can you see that, right? How actually I try to control the pressure at the same time over here. I didn't color them right, guys, okay, but I draw them, okay, because comparing to tracing and drawings, right, okay, are these basically we call tracings? Did I actually trace the whole thing there? Answer the question there, right? Am I actually tracing the whole thing? Or am I doing this kind of drawings here? Which one do I actually do right now? Which type of methods that I'm working right now, guys? I'm actually tracing or drawings over here?
Drawing.
Drawing, right? I'm applying basically those drawings method there, right? Okay, I'm applying those drawing method there, guys. This is basically that I want you guys to have this kind of understanding there, okay? Because I'm actually developed this kind of method because some people say, okay, why actually I didn't actually teach everyone actually draw according to the traditional way, okay? I have done those traditional way before, all right? Remember our first 1, 2, 3 week exercise there, okay? Okay, but when we start to work with digitals, because we need to start with digitals, first of all, because our online sessions, we have to improvise those implementation of digitals there. Because next year and next semester, okay, you're going to learn digital illustrations. When you have that kind of, what we call that, you have strengthened basically your skills in digital tools for these semesters, right? Hopefully, and generally, basically, okay, you going to improve more later on, okay? But the problem is sometimes, okay, some students did not basically take advantage when they learn digital kind of tools there. They thought that, okay, the digital tools, okay, some people always say that, I don't know, okay, maybe because they get confused, okay. They always thought, okay, digital tools going to be make your life more easy there, okay. But when they start to experience them, they will find a bit kind of difficult because they don't going to evolve, they don't practice a bit more further on that kind of methods and techniques in the right way there, right? That's why some people feel like, okay, oh, digital also quite hard there, right? Okay, because you don't actually try to implement and also develop your skill from traditional that you learned before into those digital medias. That you thought that, okay, working with digitals, just like you play with image manipulation, right? Okay? Just use some of the methods and techniques, some of the tools there, and you can actually compose the whole thing become your design works, okay? But when it comes to illustrations, suddenly you still need to use your hands to draw there, okay? I actually just what we call that came out from one of the conference there, which is my good friend and one of the president of animations, kind of what we call that, of animations, Malaysian animations, kind of what we call that organizations there, okay? Which is talk about digital 2D animations, okay? That actually play roles in our new kind of norms right now, there, right? Okay, so the same thing that I always told her, okay, you guys, there, okay, digital tools basically will basically give our lives a bit more easy to develop our skills there. It doesn't supposed to be more worse there, right? Okay? What you saw with some of your friends' works just now, it just like maybe because you're just going to get used to it. Okay, I actually can actually write, be more what we call that, be more agree with, okay, with some of the developments that you saw from there, right? Okay, because it's more early stage, right? Okay, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, what we actually we need more time for you to evolve, to improve there, okay? But you need to help yourself at the same time, there, guys. Don't just what we call thought there, okay? The magics are going to be happens, okay, when you have the tools there, okay? It's not going to be happen like that, guys, okay? We need to work hard, work smart at the same time. That works on that. I thought you guys try to work hard at the same time work smart. How work smart there, okay? You don't have to imagine the whole thing entire time. But some of the areas, some of the method that you're going to do, you need to imagine more there, okay? But when you have that kind of Photoshop, you have the layers that you work on that. And it's supposed to help you to increase more kind of understanding there when you observe things there. Some people still see that, okay, when they draw those eyebrows, okay, they still draw the eyebrow like this. Sorry, there, right? Eyebrow like this. Okay. What are the value that you bring over to these drawings there? Nothing there, guys, right? But if you draw back again, what those eyebrows, right? Don't forget to save your files all the time, like this, for example. Or even though you want to draw the shapes of it there, right? Using the contour and styles there, right? Okay, and then you start to render them back, right? Slowly there. So there's two different kind of value that you can add from your process of learning there. Okay, process of learning, okay. Some people, they don't know, okay, whether they have to draw basically the entire nose there, right? Okay. What I can actually suggest, can you see how actually I draw them? Look carefully there, okay, how I actually draw them here. See? Then I didn't have to draw the whole line over here because I'm going to add some shadings of shadows from there. So bring the values, okay? Same goes to this part, okay? Okay, this part basically, okay, the lips itself. See how actually I draw the first, okay? Draw those lips there first. I draw the mouth there first. And then I start to draw the lips over here. This is the mouth there, okay? The lips over here. But I'm not combining the line there, okay? Carefully to work on that. If I want to add some details, okay. The reason why I draw this kind of detail because I get into the shadow suggestions there. Okay, shadow suggestions there. This is basically the value that you want to bring over to your presentations first. Okay, don't just simply draw those eyes look like this a little bit there, okay? And then you understand the structures that form basically the eyes here. Even though I want to draw those eyes a little bit more evil later on there, right? I will make sure that I understand first the shapes of it there, right? The shapes of it there first, guys. See? I want to make more evil there, right? I will draw the pupil, look a bit more like a snake kind of eyes there. Snake kind of pupils there. See? Small changes will make a lot of difference with your presentations there, guys. It doesn't have to be bizarre kind of changes there. That's why you have to be smart to work on that. And try to overcome basically your kind of eagerness to develop those characters by referring to something that you understand there first, right? Don't just randomly try, oh, I like this one, I try to draw. Yes, you can draw there, okay, but whether you can actually develop the right kind of methods, okay, right now, this kind of jaw line, okay, slowly draw them back in there. If, okay, if the right, okay, let's say you want to draw those kind of, there is basically some fang over there. See, draw the tip there, right? Slowly draw those tips there, okay? Small changes there, guys, make a huge number kind of different there, right? That's why you have to work smart on it. When it comes to develop your skill for these presentations, always remember that. See, small changes make a huge difference there. But the main objective, what we try to do right now, practice our coordinations at the same time. That's basically one of the most important thing, rather than you just draw something out from nowhere and you've been stuck with it and you jeopardize your mark because of your what we call that confusionness there, okay? You have that kind of confusion there, okay, on yourself there, okay? I didn't actually ask you guys to do this kind of confusion from there. Throw those there first and then improve from there, okay? Right now, to draw those hands, right? Some people actually, doesn't know how to draw the hands correctly, and they become it kind of like weird there, okay? What you can do there, okay? You can combine those contour line exercise drawings back again, add some shadows lines over here, all right? And then start to work with this kind of fingers over here back again. And let's just say you want to draw those fingernails there, right, okay? The shapes of the fingernails over here, a bit right here, there, right? Go ahead there, guys, okay? But make the small changes only. Don't make a huge changes until you the one who actually get confused with your own things there, okay? Yeah. Slowly do it. You don't know how to draw fingernails? All right. Refer back again. Before that, Pei, are you here? Pei, right? Anyone actually didn't call name yet? No? Okay. Okay. What is it, vampire? Fingernail thing. Right. So everything that you want to develop, so, okay, you want to look into the, okay, that has it right here, okay. Look back again, those fingernails there, okay, and try to check whether they're going to have that kind of same position that you want there, okay. All this kind of thing, we can actually do some, but all this kind of reference that we want to do there, okay, they will take a bit kind of time. We will burn a lot of our time there, guys. So that's why I really not encourage you guys just to jump over to those character design all the times. All right. Okay. If you want to show some depth of fields, this particular kind of what we call that line has to be a bit more softer, right? Okay. You want to show some frontal kind of view, okay, based according to your what we call that drawings. Okay, the line works that show basically the focal point there, right? Okay, or the foreground basically, right? Okay, it has to be a bit more thick than the what we call that the distance, okay, the behind kind of shapes there, right? That kind of thing can be done, right? Okay, so sometimes, okay, I just want to show. I want you basically to exaggerate a little bit. Sometimes people like to exaggerate a little bit more further on their design, okay. So what I can do basically, okay, that combine image manipulation and also what we call that your visuals, okay. No, sometimes, guys, okay, I will show you guys here, okay. Don't think wrong way there because you're not going to do it all the time, okay. But normally, if I want to change a little bit, okay, I will go to Lucify. This is basically some shortcut way, lah, okay, to imagine something there, okay. So what are the things that I want to develop a bit more difference, okay? For example, I want to exaggerate a little bit those physical itself, okay? So I'm going to make those kind of what we call that physical of these characters, right? Okay? A bit kind of like not like a human kind of shape there, right? A bit there, okay? like a superhuman there, okay? And the boobs also can actually enhance a little bit more further there, okay? To make it more like a comic styles, like a realistic and comic styles there. So even though the neck, I can actually write because she's basically a vampire there, okay? So sorry there, right? Just now I revert there, right? Oops. What happens here? Okay, let's cancel that first. All right, go to filters. Okay, liquify there, right? Right, then I'm going to try to exaggerate a little bit, but not too much there, guys. Sometimes if you exaggerate too much there, some of the element that you want to draw later on, okay, they become a bit kind of weird a bit there, right? Okay, so there has to be logic at the same times, even though we want to mix a bit weird, okay, on those kind of shapes of it. So this part, basically, I want to make a bit the jawline, the jawline a bit more sharp there, okay, not too much, all right? It can be. So the ears be kind of, right, pointed a little bit there, all right? Even though this one, okay, I can actually, right, adjust a little bit there. It can be, okay? See? To design characters sometimes, they need creativity there, right? So the lips also a bit more, and the mouth a bit more, not too much there, okay? Because you play with some logic at the same time there, see? I want to make it, this one become different characters. I can actually, right? So, okay, just adjust a few number kind of things there, right? So then we can actually playing around a bit, okay, because she basically is not a human being. So that means I can actually, right, exaggerate this women become a bit more like non-human, like ops kind of things there, but still look sassy, sexy a little bit there, right? That kind of thing can be actually applied again using Liquify there to works. So that means that, okay, you guys can do a lot of things from there if you want to. Let's just say that this is basically some reference there, okay, some reference there. I want to make it basically she has basically a horn over here first using Liquify only there, right? Then I can actually exaggerate with more. Okay. Can you see that, okay? Small changes that I made, okay, from these drawings over here, sorry, there, right? This one, they can be improved more further later on, okay, if I want to develop that kind of understanding there. So what I can do from here, okay, from my drawings there, right, save the files there first. Now can you see there, guys, okay, how actually we can actually improvise some of the things that we saw that can be make some of the changes directly in our presentations. The brush tools back again. So I'm going to draw like those eyebrows over here, right? Of course, the nose can be improved a bit more there, right? So this jawline and chin, all right, can be worked. The nose itself. Use technologies in the right way there, guys. See? Use technologies in the right way there, guys. Yeah, I'll improvise a little bit there. So let's do some etchings a bit from there. It works on that. So right now I'm using technologies to improvise the things that I want to draw those kind of shapes of those hair that form basically the neck at the same time over here, all right? So some of the areas over here that I actually can improvise a little bit. Okay. So the hands a bit more crooked there, right? A bit. Because she's basically some evil witch maybe. So while basically you design things, you can actually develop also some sort of like importance kind of personalities there, okay, for your design. Okay, if you ask me that, okay, oh, is it basically a shortcut way? This is one of the way that we try to develop a shortcut way to design characters, but not entirely there, guys, because the process of designing characters basically we're not going to be ended into these elements and in this kind of process only there, guys, okay? Because there's more from here that we have to do. But this is basically what I said, okay, a basics kind of way to develop the character design, okay? It's only a basics there, guys. There's a lot more things that can be around the process of developing those ideas there. So don't get too excited there, okay? Because there's more for you to go as a part of character design that kind of works. But if you check look right now, how I actually develop them back, right? Oh, I missed out this one there, right? What I can do from here, there. Okay, so when you want to design, okay, a different kind of character, for example, there, okay, they need basically a lot of extra attention there. That's why I did not actually emphasize on that a lot there, right? But if you're willing to have that kind of time to sacrifice more further to explore, it's good. But don't force yourself if you don't have that kind of energy yet. Focus on your drawing skills. Okay? That's basically what you should do to process your works over here. All right? Do you guys understand about it? You have that kind of clear understanding or ideas there, where you have to start first there, right? Do you have it or not, guys?
Hi, sir.
Sir,
I have a question.
We
need to create a character, right? How many characters we need to create?
If you say, do we need to create a character, right? Are you sure you need to create characters or not? Are you sure you need to create characters or not? Because I give you guys two options there.
So.
All right? I give you guys two options there, guys. You have to remember that. You have to be clear about it. You want to create characters or you don't want to? All right? I give you guys two options there. Why I give you guys two options that works? Because some of you guys try to design characters, but they not actually have that kind of ability to design yet. But I didn't say you can't, right? Okay? Because if you're willing to challenge yourself, yes, you can. If you don't willing to challenge yourself, okay? If you're not willing to change yourself, stick into the reference, withdraw them back, control the pressures there, and learn to develop your skill first. Okay? All right, Ching Dong? You understand that, right? My answers here. Yeah? Anyone understand the questions there? Okay, anyone that have the same kind of confusion from there? I'm not saying that you cannot, okay, but you ask yourself, okay, because I have to give you guys some options there, because I know some of you guys try to develop those character design. Yes, you can. But what if you try, but those kind of visuals are going to make more worse on your presentations? Try not to work on that. Okay? Because I cannot stop you guys to make some sort of like improvement on your works there in the right way. But I will give you guys some advice if I saw your drawing skills there. All right? What you should do, what you should basically to improve and to focus and concentrate first. Okay? So that means that, okay, the reference that I actually have given you guys, basically, if you actually don't draw this kind of characters, if you stick into this plan, can I ask you guys, okay, is this a part of character design? This person there?
No.
Why? Why you say no there, right? Do you know this girl? Do you know these models there? When you saw these characters, when you saw these models there, right? This reference, do you think basically she's actually tried to become who actually, right? what type of basically a person that she tried to portray from these poses, from this dress. Hey guys, what type
Nah,
of poses?
she trying to pretend someone.
Okay, pretend to
Some
be someone.
character,
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah. When she tried to pretend to be someone, is that is part of characters?
Yeah, it's counted as part of the character.
Yeah, it's a part of characters there, guys. So you don't have to think overly done there, okay, to develop characters there. What you have right now is a character design over here. It's a character kind of design poster, okay, reference there. So you just draw them back to become a part of those illustrations design of those characters there, okay. You don't have to think a lot there, okay. But what I try to develop and show you guys today is basically beyond what you saw as these characters become other people, other kind of person there, okay, other characters there, okay, at the same time. Okay, this one. Are this person as a characters there? This person as a characters?
Nope.
Trick question there, right?
She just trying to make some running posing.
Okay, what she's trying to do there, okay, running, okay, what she's trying to present, okay, to become who actually, right?
Maybe some marathon.
Marathon. Other than that, a marathon person actually draw like are going to be posed like this. A marathon. You saw Olympic, right? Okay? Any kind of running kind of athlete try to run like this one, right?
No.
No, there, right? Where basically you saw this kind of poses there, normally. Where you can find this kind of poses there. Look carefully there, right? Okay? Obviously, we can see there, right? This kind of poses there, where is it? Where is it you can find this poses there? As a person, as a characters. Where is it there, guys? Kyo. Can you actually write what we call that? Give it some ideas there. This kind of poses, you women there, right? Or any women, any ladies over here? What kind of poses that we talk about right now as a person, as a characters there? Try to be responding, right?
Gymnastic.
Gymnastic is a sport there, right? Other than that?
Other than that.
How about ballerina there, right? Ballerina, right? Okay? It's a part of the characters also. You can develop some characters based on ballerina, right? Some dance move there, right? Okay? Some dances that may be there, right? So all this kind of what we call that a person that she tried to be can be a part of those characters there. Okay? So you don't have to think too much on that, because when you put accessories, it doesn't count as a character sometimes. If you put some accessories there, okay? But each one of us can become a character that has a personality and characters at the same time. It doesn't have to be some bizarre changes that would work on that. For example, right, if I look into yourself, okay, look into yourself there, okay, I look into myself there, okay, can I become a character there? Okay, without the glasses, with the glasses, with a beard, without a beard, okay, without a hair, okay, can I actually develop myself as a character? Can I develop myself as a character then? Like Cheng Dong's over here, right? This one, okay, you wearing cap, basically some what we call that the high school, what we call that, some sort of like jacket, right? Okay, you try to be in those characters there, right? Into those characters there. It can be. So it doesn't have to be a bizarre kind of accessory that you put on those elements, then become characters lah. But if you want to try them, you can, if you have that kind of ability there, guys. This is basically a free will there, guys, okay? So you guys can choose. But I give you guys two options there to apply there, okay? Why? Because you guys were adults there, right? Teen adults there, okay? So that means I want you guys to think creatively and also practically there, okay, whether you guys can actually move into that kind of position or not. If you can't, hold yourself first, develop your skill back again, okay? That's basically you need to realize them first. But it's very interesting for you guys to explore them. Like I said, okay, you guys can explore. That's why I give you guys some examples over here, all right? But if you think that it's very hard for you, logically, maintain first, all right? But if you can actually apply it from there, good. It's very exciting there, right? But think about also your time that you have. But I'll give you guys a small kind of what we call that samples, suggestions there. If you want to work on that, as long as you don't actually jeopardize your understanding on the proportions, alignments, balance, and the most important thing, your drawing skills. Your drawing skills there. Okay, that's basically what you should do first. And after that, when we start to work on that, even though I didn't complete it, guys, okay, I won't be able to complete that, right? Okay. So then you want to add some shadings and shadows there. Okay. First of all, before that, right? Okay. There's more thing that I can do from me because basically when you want to draw, because I watched a lot of horror movies, right? Okay, vampire movie, zombie, all this kind of stuff before that, right? So I don't know, maybe because of that, some of my influence when I actually want to design some of the faces, I always start with all this kind of muscle structured kind of what we call that character works there, okay? So that means, okay, if I want to draw a bit more better on this kind of on these characters, right? Okay, maybe I'm going to draw those kind of like the bone kind of structures of here, okay, to make it these women look a bit more like a more kind of horror kind of things there, okay? That kind of things, okay. But I'm going to show you guys how actually get some etchings kind of line on there to add some suggestion on the shadows at the same time. Okay, shadows at the same time, okay. The reason why I add this kind of shadings there, see, some etchings there, right, to show basically some what we call that shadows kind of suggestions on this line works there, okay. And one more thing there, guys, if you actually improve a lot on your drawings kind of strokes there, okay, the shadows that you're going to apply from here are going to be is a part of your what we call that supporting element on your illustrations. You won't be able, you don't have to shade too much, right? Like your friend just now when you said, okay, they become a bit more like a dirty kind of line there, right? Because your kind of drawings will help you to increase more kind of strong kind of value on your presentation, okay, for your illustrations over here. And when you want to add some shadings later on, let me actually complete this one at first. Okay, according to the shadows, when I add some shadings over here, I didn't put so much, okay? Okay. If I want to add some shadings, the light came over here, there, right? The shadows fall off over here. You have to memorize them. You have to realize them. And then if I want to add some shadings over here, using the soft round brushes, all right, don't press too much there. A lot of people forget about to control the brushes directly and change the size there, right? But this one doesn't look fit, right? How actually you're going to overcome them? Change the flows. I minimize the flows at first and try to paint softly there, okay, the shadows here. You see that? Change the size. Add some shadings of shadows there, right? See? Slowly add some shadings there, okay, on the shadows itself. Change the size. Focus on that. Adjust the size all the time, guys, okay? According to the space that you want to paint, okay? Adjust the size there. See? If I'm close, basically there's the reference there first, right? You guys can see basically how actually I control the shadows over here. It's now what you saw from your friend, okay? or he or she try to paint everything, right? Okay, it looks sloppy, right? Okay, because they don't change basically those flows, minimize them, the flows. I'm using 9% right now. According to those tone that I actually use right now is pure 3% of back darkness there, right? So this is how actually I control them there, right? Slowly form basically the shadows according to those shapes that they fall off from the lighting there, right? At the sides a little bit. I didn't color the nose trail, become a bit more darker there, okay? Because the way that we control them is easy for us to add a bit more value. Say, when you press a little bit, okay? When I press a little bit here, see? When I press a little bit over here, but not too much, because I want to leave some sort of reflection light over here there at the same time. Even though the vampire doesn't have any reflections there, okay, on those eyes there, you have to understand it, right? Okay, all this kind of methods of way of presenting your works over here. That's why there's a lot of things you have to take care of. Okay, that's why I didn't actually want to push a bit more further on those designs there, right? So I will focus more on the techniques to apply on the tools itself there, right? See, I didn't color the whole thing at first, but add those kind of tone values slowly as you develop those kind of, change the size, try to develop that kind of what we call that just a little bit. Don't need to put those colors there, okay? Because when you put some colors a lot, okay, they're going to become spoil on your presentations there. Because you try to imagine what type of color that you're going to produce on this kind of presentation there. Don't waste your time from there. In grayscale, basically, you're going to learn a bit more further on how to develop the tone, the values, okay? At the same time, you're going to add a bit kind of understanding on those, right? How actually I draw those kind of nose tone that develop the line from those nose there, right? And then we're going to add slowly, basically, those shadows line over here at the same times. All right, stop those shapes. Define the shapes of the nose there, right? Right here also there has a few number kind of shadows there. Slowly work on that there, guys, okay? Don't rush too much, okay, to add those kind of shadows until you cover the whole things, look messy there, right? That's why you have to be more, what we call that, more careful there, okay, when it comes to it, okay? I did basically show some of your friend works, okay? I did basically some discussion there, okay? Please be concerned, okay? Because we need to learn something from other people's mistakes. I love also to make some of the mistakes that you guys can learn also from there, okay? So I try to add some sort of detailings over here, right, okay? To show basically those kind of what we call that some, the expressions of these characters at the same time there, right? Slowly develop basically that kind of tone to develop this kind of form itself, okay, from this reference. And I'm going to paint a bit more closer details on the eyes there itself there to show some contrast on that, right? Okay, yeah. It has to. You guys slowly to develop from there. That's how it goes when it comes to shadings there, okay? Then slowly paint it up more closer and closer there, okay? And of course, remember that, okay? Always refer to those references there back again, okay? Refer to those references there back again there, right? Because if you check look closely there, okay? Whatever you guys try to work on that, okay? Those shadows doesn't mean anything without basically your drawings there, okay? But without those shadows, you have a very strong kind of line, and you add those value with those shadows when you have the strong kind of strokes there, okay, on your drawings there at the same time there, okay? So right now, if I want to add some sort of like shadows there, okay, for those hair. Okay, one of the things that I can do from here, I can actually use lasso tools, but the feather are going to be used 0 there, okay, lasso tools over here, right? Okay, I'm trying to develop those lasso tools over here. When I draw those lasso tools there, guys, when I actually select those selections there, right, I actually draw the shapes there, right, okay, of those hair. You see there, right? I basically draw the shapes of the hair there, right? See? I'm not just simply draw the selections without understanding the shapes of the hair there, see? But when I actually paint them back, right, okay, I didn't actually paint the whole things look a little bit more dark kind of tone there, right? I try to draw softly as a form of those shadows from those hair, and then I'm going to mix them up all together again. Okay, I'm going to mix them up all over again because this part basically also have the shadows line. This is the hairline over here. Okay, it's cover basically this part there, right? Click shift basically, right? Click shift. Okay. Okay, click shift. Okay, in order to increase or add those selections. Okay, always click shift there, right? And spacebar to move, okay, your kind of selections drawings there, okay, according to the reference that you want there, okay. So right now, what you have right now there, okay, I'm going to add a bit kind of selections over here a bit more, okay. Always, what we call that, back again, your selections back again. Okay, so from here, they basically the right, okay, I have the selections, all right. So I can using brush tools back again. Adjust the size and take a look, okay. The highlights came over here, okay. The shadows a bit off a bit from some of the areas there, right? So what I can do, can you see there, right? I make a soft kind of shadows line over here first. Not too much over here. I didn't press too much in that. If I want to press a little bit there, okay, I will press a bit further from here. This one, because there is shadows line over here there, right? This one a bit more darker a bit. And take a look at the reference. All right, this part basically have a darker bit, okay, but not too much there. There. Okay, look carefully back again to your reference. Okay. Save the files there first, all right? Check back again those shadows there. All right, slowly to check, look back again, okay, those reference, okay, before you're going to paint them back. What I'm going to do over here, I'm going to cut this part there, right? First, I can see the difference from there. All right. Take a look back again, which part basically we can actually improvise from here there, okay? To have a bit more detail there, okay? So what I can do is I can actually paint back again the whole thing, all right? Or I can use also my brushes tools that works on that. Some of the areas over here, some shadings a little bit. This part you can have the more darker kind of tones there, right? This part a bit more darker there. There's a lot of way to paint the shadows there, guys. Okay, this is not the only way to paint the shadows there. But as you actually go through with some of the details, you will basically apply some of the methods. Okay, but the lasso tools can be add also with this kind of methods there. Okay, more. Okay, but I don't want to mix them around too much because some people, when they actually try to play with a lot of lasso tools there, right, they become the hair a little bit more like contrast and the shadows going to be ruined and spoiled altogether there. Okay, what I can do right here, normally I'm going to what we call that, combine with some of the pencil brushes, okay, then I'm going to redraw some of the details over here back again. See, mix them up all together. We have to mix them up all together there, guys, okay? And whatever that I try to draw right now, to add right now there, guys, I did not basically try to, pretending basically to get as detailed as what we call that, as perfect as I want, okay, for my presentations there. I try to use basically my skill to control the pressures, okay, to draw according to the reference that I have here right now. And it will came naturally with my design there, okay. It will came naturally there, okay, when I produce those kind of details there. I never actually push myself, okay, I want to draw as detailed that I want, okay, but when I actually move my hands to control the pressure point, everything came naturally there, okay, because I'm focusing more on the how I actually construct the structures over here. Even though I'm using basically those ultimate pen ink there, okay, on the layer itself, okay, right here, I saw basically some of the line works have become a little bit more like this one, right? I'm going to improve that again on my kind of hairline strokes there, right? And some of the line works I can use white colors that works on that. Some of the line works I can use white colors to work on that. This is basically some ears kind of shapes there, right? So I can see from there. Some of the line works over here we saw, right? Basically can use light colors there, reduce the size, right? To mix them up all together there, right? Can mix them up all together there, right? Type back again those reference. See basically how actually we can do it. This is about illustrations there, guys. You have to remember one thing. Illustration has to be completely different a little bit if you want to learn it to illustrate, okay? Don't try to get some perfection there. Don't try to achieve perfections there. Try to understand how to develop the core kind of structures of those line work first, and take a look at the reference at the same times, right, to mix them up all together, right? And then you can actually develop it more further on your what we call that perfections of your drawings, right? Okay, they become naturally done there, right? Slowly to work on that. Slowly they become actually more natural there. Because you don't basically, okay, stress yourself to focus on the perfections there all the times. That's basically what I try to do here right now. If I focus on the perfections there, they won't be achieved, right? Okay? But I focus on those quality of works that I try to produce with those kind of line drawings over here. They become naturally a little bit more better, right, on this presentation, right? And I can add more and more from here. Okay? I can add more and more from here if I want to. Right? It's kind of what we call that highlights over here. They can actually increase. You can add more and more details, like if you want to learn slowly to develop that kind of skills there, rather than you focus too much to design characters, but you can actually achieve the methods, the right methods to work on that. Okay, you see that, right? It's comparison from there. You develop slowly from there. There's some more thing you can actually add more further, okay? But the thing is, a lot of people basically, when they try to put a lot of shadows kind of shape, okay, you saw just not there, okay? They become a bit more worse because they doesn't have any tone there, right? Okay, and they don't control basically the pressure point really well and flow at the same times. I'm using a minimal kind of flows for those shadings there, 9%, 10% sometimes there, okay? Even though I didn't change basically my kind of hue saturation and black, okay, for this what we call that color combinations from there, okay, from the color sliders there. Okay, any questions? Any questions, guys? From here? I need to see your progressions, okay? Around 4:30 to 5 o'clock there, right? Any inquiries there, guys? Any questions on those drawing those hair, some shadings there, right? Anyone want to share some screen there, right? Kalok? Kiwei? Anyone want to share screen? Xuan? Junmin? Chengdong? Kalak, you have two accounts, is it all?
Yeah,
Your
one is
networks over
for
here.
the camera one.
Camera one. Why don't you actually share your screen there? I want to see how actually we can see basically how actually you guys work there, right? So I already show you guys basically how to shade there, okay? Control the pressure at the same time there. Okay, to work on that. So the questions, right? Okay, whether you're going to draw characters or not, you don't have to if you don't want to there, right? Focus on your drawing techniques there, okay? I didn't focus on the character design from here, but I apply some of the elements only there. Remember that, guys. Remember, okay? I just try to apply some element from there. Okay, add on those elements only there, guys. Okay, to work on that. This one basically also, right? I didn't actually change the whole thing. I just add some of the horns, like a Hellboy, scar, and the eyes a bit more like a Chinese kind of oriented kind of person there, and also some spike of the hair. Okay, spike kind of styles hair there, style there, and also I try to draw a bit kind of like there is earrings, okay, on the ears, okay, and also some beard a bit. That's all. Small changes only that I did, okay, and basically the knife and also some wrist kind of band there, okay. That's all there, okay. We don't have to make a lot of major changes on that. Okay, don't try to stretch you guys too much on that until you cannot focus on your main purpose of how actually develop those kind of idea, your kind of skills there, okay, at the first stage there, okay. And all these kind of shadow shades that I actually try to work on that were based on the flows. They are using a minimal percent of flows, and I paint according to those reference there and control the pressures at the same time. Okay, all right. Any questions? Why you guys don't want to share your screen there?
Wait, I share.
Why you want to share your screen? All right. Share your screen there, okay, Carlo? Thank you. Please share your screen there right now so we can see there, okay, how it works. Thank you, Carlo. All right. Look okay from far there, Carlo. There, okay? Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah.
What's going on with those? Okay, the structures, the line will be can be improved there, right?
Yeah.
And carefully draw back again the eyes. Okay, back again. Make sure that you can add more values when you actually start to draw them, okay? Okay, what's all about those? The line works there, okay? The for layer 2, okay? Is there anything in layer 2?
No, I haven't draw layer 2 yet. Yeah, this one I haven't draw yet. The other one
layer 2 is
like
another drawings lah.
Yeah, the other one is this one.
What? For this one, see? Can I see the record those line works? This one basically from the last week's exercise, right?
Yeah.
I need you to improve more on the line works there, kalau there, right?
Okay.
Whatever that you've been working on before using those contour line drawing exercise, that you did actually that exercise, right? Try to
Yeah.
apply and mix them
It's
up back
on.
again.
It's over.
Where is it?
Here.
Okay, zoom in a bit there, right? Why the line is a bit more giggle there?
Oh.
Most of the line a bit kind of giggle there, right? Okay. It can be a part of
Yeah.
styles that in the future they color there, okay? But why all the line look giggle there, right?
I think it's because I. Yeah.
You
I think
shaking when you draw there, right? You shaking when you draw there, huh?
Hmm.
Right? Try to maintain a little bit on the stability on your drawings there.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
But it can be styles. In the futures, you can create some of the style like this one, okay, for this kind of line drawings,
Other
whether you like it or
than
not. But
this, the running one.
you see, okay, try to make a stability on your drawing strokes over here. Kalau I want to see that, right? Okay, when you draw them.
Okay.
Draw right now, right?
Like the stroke have to be like confidence and like
Yes.
just like one stroke like that.
Something like that, okay, but it can improve a bit more further. What type of brushes that you use right now?
So
You're using pencil brushes, right?
I'm using ink.
Ink
The
brushes there.
yeah, the
All right, ink
cow
brushes there.
inking.
Okay, all right, good. Try to make a stability on your strokes there
On the hand?
by all of it there, right?
Out of
Start
it.
from the beginning, right?
Yeah, the head.
Yeah. Use those reference there to work on that. You see basically a structures that you have been developed from there already.
Yeah.
Zoom, close those, what we call that, these layers there. First add your layers. Right? You start to work on that. Try to draw those hairline first there, okay? I'll actually draw the hairline just now there, right?
Well, I
Try
don't
to
have
draw the
to
hairline and
draw
stroke
the
there, right?
shape first, right?
It doesn't have to be shaped the whole time there, okay? You have to draw the hair first, right?
Okay.
You have to draw the shapes of the hair there, okay? Shapes of the hair that form basically the strokes of those hairline there, right? Something like that there, right? Huh? But draw the whole thing there first, okay?
Okay.
Don't draw halfway there, okay? Draw the whole thing there, okay? Draw right the whole things, control them right, okay? You can start, okay? You can draw them basically, okay? Some etching kind of line instead of working only one kind of directions there, only there, right? Using
Oh,
the flow itself, okay? From the shadows that you saw from there. Try to get some movement, some flow, some control on the pressures at the same times for each developments there, right? You saw just now how actually I draw those hair. Try to
yeah.
apply that back again. Okay? Try to apply that back again. I want to see how actually complete to draw those hair. Like I don't draw halfway there, right? And then when you actually complete them, and then you try to develop that ideas to work with those kind of faces, ears, and some other things that can. Okay? Mix them up, all those movements there, right? Okay?
Okay.
Try to get the feel out of it. All right, work on it. I want to take some drinks there. All right, scalp and carve carefully there, okay? Those kind of strokes of the hair. All right, try to control the pressures, get the quality of line together there, okay? Add some of the details there, okay? When we draw basically those hairline there, okay, and strokes, follow basically where the shadows fall off from those hair there, okay? You can see obviously the shapes of the hair that actually form from the shadows. All right, look at the shadows there, okay? And form the strokes of the hair according to the shadows line and strokes there, right? And shapes there at the same time. Don't just simply draw and carve those kind of line without looking where basically the shadows are going to be formed from those hair. Remember that, guys. Because that's how actually you can actually add some highlights later on. Going to develop those hairline there, okay? From those hairline there. Okay, complete the hair first, and then you start to work with this kind of faces, eyes, and all those elements all together. Even though there's a lot of tutorial when to draw hair, specific to draw the eyes, right? Okay, but from this exercise, basically, guys, okay, I try to mix up all together those kind of understanding during this kind of process of working there, guys. But you have to follow exactly and look and watch carefully how actually do things there, right? And especially for those who have a zero knowledge there. Right? I believe Carlo actually have this just started to develop that kind of understanding slowly, but you have to keep on practicing that, guys. Okay, same goes to everyone there. Right? It's not going to be happens. Okay, in 14 weeks you can become professionals all the time there. Right? Okay? It's hardly to get there. Okay, unless you have all that kind of package that you can bring over to your understanding when you come to draw them. Okay, but you have to keep on practicing at the same time there. Right? In my time, basically, the right, okay, no one actually give this kind of detailed, kind of specific kind of way or methods that to draw some of the things there. But we actually develop by developing the strokes and also observations kind of exercise, okay, to develop that kind of skills there. So then we actually naturally develop a kind of understanding slowly, right, okay, when we start to do more exercise from there. Right, control the pressures there, okay, he works on that. And when you actually have complete sometime, okay, you will find that your hands are going to be what we call the pain and hard a little bit there, right, okay, and you have to relax a little bit after that and then continue to do those works. Carlo, do you actually breathe there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it? Is it basically you have to use all those kind of physical kind of what we call that motions and that, right? Huh? Okay, look carefully, okay, on the shadows that a lot, okay, to work on that. Okay, where basically the shadow fall off, basically, then you can actually press a little bit on the stroke from there, but not too much. All right, right now, basically, the whole thing looked a bit kind of similar there, okay? Only a few areas that you actually saw that have basically the shadows, okay? Close those layers there first. Close the layer 3 there first. All right, and see basically where the shadow fall off, okay? All right, and then you start to draw some of the areas a bit more darker, okay? But don't press too much, but control at the same time, okay? Control at the same time of your pressures there, okay? This is one way to work, and then you can actually add some shadows using those shadings there, right? Shadings also can be applied from there. Okay, try to draw those faces there, the nose, the lips, their first color, and ears. Okay, learn also from your friend, guys, okay? What are the things that they're doing wrong, and you try to improve from there. Zoom in a little bit, like a lot, okay, when you want to draw those eyebrows, ears, eyes there, okay? Don't just simply draw the shapes. Don't be afraid to draw the shapes of the eyes and the nose there, right? Okay. Learn to control the pressures when you draw those kind of structures there. And when you get the structures right, then press a little bit more further to develop the confidence kind of line there, right? Okay. I think that's the thing that you need to overcome that color there, right? Okay. After you sketch it out slowly, improve more on the strokes at the same times, and develop the solid line for your drawings. Same goes to the rest of you guys there, right? Okay. And practice also, okay, color, okay, take a look back again, the chin, the cheek, okay, shapes, does it look like that? You sure? All right. Okay. Zoom in a little bit when you draw them. All right. Take a look closely there, okay? How actually going to be work from there. Draw this solid straight line, but control the pressure at the same time there, right? Don't be afraid to draw the solid line there, okay? To complete the whole task. Now, draw the shapes of those ears there first. After that, you draw the pattern inside of it. The rest of you guys who doesn't want to share, okay, later on, don't just actually put some complaint words, okay? Oh, I always put my interest on color only, okay? I ask you guys to share there, okay? Don't give this kind of reason there, okay? So I want to see basically most of you guys, how actually you guys doing the work, okay? I give the chances. You have to take those kind of opportunities to share there, okay? Because I really want to see how actually, right, from live sessions, how to work on that. Kalau, don't focus on the shadows line there, right, okay? On those ears there. Focus on the patterns there, right, okay? They actually apply those shapes from those ears there, right? Those shadows you guys can actually, right, add, not like that. It's not that, right? The patterns of those ears there. Only there, okay? The shadows you can apply when you shades them up. Take a look carefully there, okay? The shapes of those forehead. Is it right or not? It doesn't look right there. Kalau there, right? Okay. You have to adjust a little bit the shape of the forehead there. Look carefully and redraw back again. Select the layers there. Are you sure there, right? Okay? Take a look carefully there, right? The forehead there, right? Okay? The forehead that combine over to those eyebrows there, okay? Okay? They're going to be closer a little bit to the next eyebrow from the back there, okay? At the back there, okay? From the left side there. You not combine them all together there, right? So that's what I say, guys. Look carefully to your reference there. Use your eyes there to see things there, right? Observe things well there, right? If you not see clearly there, okay, this is what happens there, right? Okay. Are you sure there, right? Okay. You look carefully to your reference back again, Carlo, okay? Where the line are going to be combined between the forehead, between your eyebrows, and also those forehead line there, right? This is what basically happens there. You don't actually observe things really well there. You don't understand from what you see there, right? Okay, Kalau, can you actually draw the solid line from here? After you get the structures right, don't draw too fast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Draw the solid line for the faces there, right? Because all the line looks a bit kind of edgy, jagged there, right? Okay. All the line doesn't look confident there, right? Okay.
Yeah. You draw the solid line there, okay, on the strokes. All right, take a look here there, right, guys. Okay, we have the reference over here, there, okay? You guys can see there, right? Yes.
Can you see basically where basically the form of those forehead are going to be? Okay, take a look how actually I draw the line work there, right? I'm not using 4%, 6% there, right? See? Basically, where is it, the color there, right? The nose itself. Can you see how actually I move my hands over here?
Yeah.
I press a little bit, but I control the pressure at the same time there, right? Just now you draw something like this only there, right?
Yeah.
You not build up those confidence that you work on that. You see how I actually draw them, press a little bit more. See? You see how actually we combine all these things together there? Even though there is basically some sort of the left side basically, right, okay, of this reference have those kind of, you can see the eyes basically from there. Now the shadow itself, okay, that I saw from this one, okay, even though I can draw the strokes right here, okay, but if I'm going to focus on the shadows there, right, the shadows there, right, see the way I move my hands there, this is basically the shadows line that I produce with the head, right? Just now you draw, everything looks a bit kind of similar there, right, okay? So this is basically the shadow. You can see the shadows there from there, right? The hairline, right? So if you can see the shadows there, this is how actually you going to draw those hairline there, right? You see that? Control the pressures a little bit. Why you have to afraid to move there, right? Okay, everything inside your, what we call that, with your wrist there, you're going to work on that. Everything with your wrist there, right? Okay. I develop the quality of line when I draw those hairs, see? Everything with your wrist there, right? You have to practice a bit more further color, okay? And some of you guys, okay, who actually have this kind of difficulties that works. See? The hairline and stroke on the shadows itself. The quality of line there, okay? Now, the ears itself when I want to draw there, right? So I'm going to draw the patterns of the ears, simplify them, see? How I actually simplify those ears there, right? Shapes. You see the color there, right? Okay, draw those ears there, right? Okay, carefully, but I develop the patterns of it. I didn't actually follow exactly. That's why we don't trace those kind of drawings there, right? If you want to trace the whole thing, they become weird a little bit there. Especially for those who actually doesn't know how to draw it well there first. That's why we have to improvise the things. And I did show you guys how it works there. Why don't you follow them? Even though I want to draw those line works from here, but I still work with those kind of drawings there, right? Control the pressures at the same time, so over here. Then the line works quite well, okay? And then I will add some shadings and highlight at the same time, okay? And I complete the whole thing. So this is the thing that you have to work on color, okay? Shadows and shades. Draw the solid line at the same time. Develop those kind of confidence over here. Because if you can develop those confidence here, right? You will draw more fastest. Okay? And your drawings look more confidence and they have the quality of line at the same time. See? Even though I make some of the mistakes, am I actually worried too much? No, they're right. Why? Because I have understand all the structures really well right here. Okay. You see how I actually combine all this kind of line all together there, right? It's not all about tracing, guys. But I'm using the reference to develop basically my drawing skills. Reference to develop my drawing skills over here. This is basically the purpose of our exercise over here, of our projects over here. Develop back again your drawing skill confidently by using the right kind of stroke, and I give you guys more options there for you guys to choose. Because all these kind of techniques can be made by professionals there, been developed by professionals there. I didn't actually give you guys basically, right, okay, the methods that only student can use there. Right? When you can draw like this, people know basically you have the professional kind of touch there, okay, on your works. You didn't have to tell people that you draw from reference there. People saw these drawings, people know that you can draw. So that's basically what you need to overcome that, right? Okay? By using those references to develop your skills, not just to trace them. Develop basically your skills there. You see some of the things that I'm etching there, right? Yeah. Etching some shadows over here. Maybe some shadows over here. Okay. People can see whether you can actually draw or not there. You don't have to tell people that you can draw. You show people how actually you develop this kind of understanding. There right now, I can actually draw some of the line works over here to combine all together. All right, to combine all the line together there, right? Because we want to make those line works a bit more harmonized there, okay? With all the strokes all together there, okay? That's why I try to mix them up there, right? So learn back again, Carlo, right, okay? How to control the pressures at the same times, and the rest of you guys the same thing there, okay? In order to develop your understanding to control your pressures at the same times. Okay? Hopefully these sessions will give you guys more enhancement on that, okay? For those who not realize them, the purpose why you should actually develop that kind of skill from here. All right, guys. So I see you guys on the next sessions there, okay? And good luck with your kind of assignments over here, there, okay? You got 6 drawings to complete them, all right? And hopefully you guys know how to choose them, okay? To in a smart way to develop your skills and the requirement that we want to have from here, okay? So those are the things that really matters right now. It's all about to develop your kind of way of working there, okay? To develop the right kind of way of skills, to develop your stroke at the same time, right, okay? Don't get confused there, right, okay? If you're confused, take a look back again to my demonstration there. All right? So thank you very much and have a good evening at the same time. I'll see you guys on the next sessions and have a good weekend and see you guys to submit your works, okay, on this Sunday there, okay? So thank you. Have a nice day and take care, you guys. Bye-bye.